Before the Walter Scott case in North Charleston, there was the Denzel Curnell case here in downtown Charleston. And in this special edition of Quintin's Close-Ups, I speak exclusively with Denzel Curnell's stepfather, Dwayne German. Mr. German?
Yes.
You know, obviously the funeral for Walter Scott took place yesterday at the Word Ministries in Somerville.
Yes.
Take me back down memory lane and tell me, what are your thoughts about that?
First of all, I want to say my condolences to the Scott family. I think they handled this horrible tragedy with a lot of dignity.
Yes, they did.
And a lot of respect and a lot of calming toward the community. I think you could handle it much better than they did. And speaking about them,
right.
I'd like to give my accolades to Mr. Santiago.
Oh, yes.
For filming that video at great personal risk to himself, and he should be nominated for one of the People of the Year.
Okay. And let's go back to last Saturday. It was just a faulty light stop at the Advanced Auto Parts store in North Charleston, and it ended up with Walter Scott being killed by a former North Charleston police officer. When you think about that, what goes to your mind? My
son. Absolutely my son. It goes to the heart of the home of where we live.
Right.
My family lives, and it speaks directly to us. Like I said before, had it not been for Mr. Santiago,
right,
and the video,
sure,
the outcome might have been the same, but he expedited it a whole lot more quickly.
He gave it to the family.
To the family, and they passed it on to the authorities to expedite the situation and put Mr. Slager behind bars.
And after we all looked at that videotape of him being shot so many times by that particular police officer, what did you tell yourself?
Not again. Not again. For a routine stop or a casual encounter, another black man is dead, young or old. I mean, and it's horrendous. It's just one too many, way one too many. It was way one too many with my son.
Right.
It's way one too many with Mrs. Scott, and God forbid there be no one else. I heard there was another one in Oklahoma the other day, and it's a wanton waste of life.
And so when you see all these people marching, in particular for the Black Lives Matter group, what goes to your mind when you see that?
Well, when I see the groups march and the rallies assemble, I think it's a healthy group of people, a diverse group of people, which makes a lot of difference. It speaks volumes about who cares about the situation in the matter.
Right.
I think it's not only a Charleston problem. Charleston has become the seat of it, of something notorious once again. It's a national problem. I believe it's a social problem. The way people are approached, the way they're looked at and thought of.
Okay.
It has a lot more deeper rootings than I'm able to speak. I'm no sociologist.
Right.
Or psychologist. I mean, just the way people relate and communicate and think of one another or not makes a difference how they encounter.
And right next door, just the other day, as you know, you were there, Dot Scott of the Charleston branch of the NAACP held a press conference there, and I believe she said something that this particular case with Walter Scott is not really similar to your case with Denzel Curnell.
It is very similar to his case. Like I said, it brought back feelings of deja vu all over again. As I say, I feel for the family, my condolences to them.
Right.
They've been stellar in the way they conducted themselves and handled this tragic matter. I'm just glad they had a lot more quicker closure than I've yet to find. I hope, and through their loss and the community's loss, I hope a lot of good will come out of this.
Yes.
Because the same practices, the same procedures, with the same like-minded people, there's no change.
Right.
There's no change, and change has to be effective for this to stop. You can't approach people like you're a cowboy herding cattle. You can't do that. You have to take a different approach, and I don't get an attempt to get inside anybody's mind to see what they're thinking or what their mindset is or is not.
Right.
But often, too many times than not, the outcome results in death for people and men of color, and it's horrendous.
Yeah.
And for the police to be exonerated or to make it a convenient suicide to exonerate themselves is ludicrous. Yeah. And it's a volcano, hopefully, that will not erupt here.
Yes. And you know, you said that the family really kept themselves intact during this whole entire situation. Tell me, what do you think their secret was to that?
God.
Okay.
They're God-fearing people, law-abiding citizens who, through all tragedies and mishaps, they know God will see them through, as He did.
Yeah. And you know, you talk a lot about how the Denzel Curnell case was similar to the Walter Scott case, and from what I gather, it seems like the same situation happened there, but you didn't have the video, of course.
Speaking of video, I'd like to speak to the video that was commandeered by the police and edited by the police and disappeared while in their custody of my son's situation and being forced to accept that. Being forced to accept that as added insult to death, and the way they did not handle or communicate with me or my family during his demise and at the time of his tragedy. Speaks to the lack of their protocol in matters like this.
And you know, when I spoke with you, I believe that was late December when we first spoke, I asked you about the gaps in the Denzel Curnell case, and you basically said there are a lot of gaps still left. As we sit here right now, how many more gaps are left in this case before you can get your satisfaction or your closure?
Way too many. Way too many gaps, way too many inconsistencies,
Okay.
way too many loops. It don't equate to simple mathematics. It just don't add up.
Okay.
You know, I mean, it just, to any layperson, you don't have to be a scientist or a forensic specialist to notice it just don't make sense. It makes no sense. And in making sense, it arouses suspicion.
And let me stay on that, because as we sit here right now, what more do you want from the Charleston Police Department and the city of Charleston?
Full disclosure of what happened. Them producing the tapes, including with the missing 3 minutes that they edited,
Okay.
that actually showed the demise of my son, which I don't think is going to happen because I think it was destroyed. That's my personal opinion. A full review of what happened. I want Justice Department intervention because I don't think they're capable of policing themselves
Okay.
or the brother agencies policing them. I think it's all a collaborative effort to make it all go away because they thought no one would care. But me and my family care immensely. We still do and we always will. And it's injustice to us and to the citizenry of this community and town. Because it happened to me today, it happened to Mr. Scott last week. God forbid who would happen to next week.
And when we talked the first time earlier last year, you basically said you want suicide removed from Denzel's
He
name.
did not kill himself then, he did not kill himself now. Though it may be deemed a homicide, though it may be deemed an accident, it is not suicide. Not suicide. No, sir.
Well, with that, Dwayne German, it's always good talking to you, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.